Welcome to Easy Vibes. We believe in having conversations with all sorts of people from all walks of life from all over the world. And I was recently in Oslo because I've been traveling around Europe a little bit, and there was someone in the crowd who recognized me. His name is Oskar. Turns out he's also an incredible musician. He was on the Voice of Norway, and we just hit it off. So I invited him to my B&B, and we recorded this episode, and it was a lot of fun. We spoke about what it's like living in Norway, the difference between Scandinavian and Nordic people, and America, and all that sort of stuff. Let's get into it. Fantastic.
Awesome.
So, Oskar, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
This is my first time doing one in Norway.
Yeah, awesome.
So, first of all, question number one. I think we should first of all just kind of let people know how we sort of met.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to tell the story?
Okay, I can tell the story. I work as a musician, and I was at this gig, and I saw that you had you put up like a live stream on Instagram, and so what I did was I wanted to send you a text because I was going to like this concert later. So I wanted to send you a text just like, hey, you should come to this concert. These guys are really good. But I ended up not doing it because of I was busy. I had to focus and stuff like that. But I came to the concert later and you were there. So I had to I walked up to you and I was like, hi, you're that TikToker, that YouTuber, right? And you're like, yeah, I am. Well, awesome. And I don't know, I just the vibe was there, and we hung out the rest of the night and we had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, one of the first thing I noticed, and I know we somewhat spoke about this a little bit, was the fact that you weren't a typical Scandinavian person. At first, number one, you had an American accent.
Yeah, true.
Number two, you just came straight at me, and you're just like, yo, what's up, man? You're that dude. But what is that like? To be fair, I feel like here in Norway, there is a wide variety of people. I've noticed a few people who seem to step out of the borders of what it means to be Scandinavian, the typical Scandinavian characteristics,
100%,
or whatever. But for you specifically, what happened, man?
Well, well, I don't know. I've always been this outgoing person, right? And I've always loved American culture and stuff like that. So that's why I more or less like TV shows and stuff like that. That's right. How I got the accent. It's
from just TV. Is that how you got the?
Yeah, more or less from TV shows and stuff like that. I work as a musician. I work as a singer. So that's why I kind of deep dived more into the lyrics of the songs that I wanted to learn and stuff like that. So it was a lot of mimicking in the beginning. And then suddenly it just more or less came to this accent, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I was out last night, I met this girl, and she's Norwegian, but a posh British accent as well.
Oh, yeah.
It seems to be. Is there something to it where it seems to me that people here, some have an accent, like a Norwegian accent, and I can't even mimic what a Norwegian accent sounds
it's really wavy, dun, 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 kind of like that. Yeah.
But it seems as though it's quite simple, or not quite simple. From my limited knowledge of being here, it seems like being able to overcome the accent seems to be some people are able to do it, whereas where I live in Helsinki, for Finnish people, I feel like even when someone has been living abroad or whatever, a a lot of the time there's still a little something there. But for you, if I didn't know you were Norwegian, I would have just thought you're American.
Well, I've heard that before, yeah. No, but like I think it's because of like because like for instance like with Norway you actually start learning English like in second grade or something like that, like
Right.
from when you're like 7 or 8, and you always have like, and because of that we don't do so much like dubbing like with movies and stuff like that, like
Right.
for instance like in Germany where they like dub everything. Right?
Do they actually dub it?
Oh yeah, they do that. Like literally like Mission Impossible,
No.
German dubbing, like overdubbing. Like I'm not kidding you. It's quite funny actually.
Du hast mir deinen Namen.
Yeah. 100%.
That doesn't even make sense. I don't think, but yeah.
Yeah. But I think that because like my girlfriend's brother, like I have an American girlfriend, right?
Oh, spicy. Okay.
Yeah. And her brother works for like Squarespace, I believe. That the company.
Yeah, they always having ads in YouTube.
Yeah, 100%. And he says that every time they like make an app or do this or that with something like trying to get out to the public, one of the first countries they actually like release that app on to, man, that's Scandinavia, specifically like Norway and Sweden and Denmark, because like we already know English that well, so they don't.
So fuck Finland, is that what they say?
Yeah, but like they don't have to like translate the app in order to get it to Europe.
Oh, true.
Yeah, and so that's why like I don't know, like I feel like that's the main reason why. Like, for instance, like with the girl you met yesterday. Like,
Yeah.
Like almost like a perfect posh British accent and stuff like that. I feel like Norwegians tend to be a little bit embarrassed about the Norwegian dialect, like the Norwenglish dialect.
Norwenglish?
Yeah, I call it Norwenglish, yeah. Because Norwegian English.
That's amazing. Yeah. In Finland, it's Finglish.
Yeah.
What would it be if it's like Danish?
Danglish?
Danglish.
Danglish.
So now tell me, listen, so I didn't know much about you when we met. And then I heard you bloody sing.
Well,
and I was like, well, shit. And then you were on the Voice of Norway.
Yeah.
Was it 2018?
2019.
19?
Yeah.
And you got all the way to the finals.
Yeah.
Right? So, 2 questions. First question is, what was that experience like for you? And then the second question is, how did you start doing music? Like, how did you learn or understand the fact or realize the fact that, yo, I can bloody sing, right?
Well, the first question, well, it started out like I came on the show, and this is kind of funny because I, like, as I've said, I've been working as a musician for so long, and everyone is like, you should really get on The Voice, you should really go like do like Idol, like one of those TV shows, because like you get to meet the business, you get to meet the people that you need to meet and stuff like that. And so I, like, after like peer pressure for a long time, because like I usually don't like TV shows like that. I think it's like a capitalist kind of thing. Like it takes away the beauty and the joy of like music.
I think all actual performing musicians feel the same. Most of them, deep in their hearts, even though they do compete. But sorry, continue.
Like it's a competition, and music should not be a competition. It should be like, obviously it's like a competitive like business. It's a competitive like area to like work in. But then again, it's like, yeah, you understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I completely get you.
Yeah. So I went on The Voice, and wouldn't you know it, I knew every single person there.
Really?
Yeah. So it was like, it wasn't like, hey, this is that person, he's the producer, he's like this and that. And it was more of the sense of, no problem.
No. You're welcome to walk past and whatever.
Shoot it. Filming. I need to go for the
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no, you can go. Like I said, you can walk past.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
only filming us. Yeah, but oh no, yeah, it's fine.
No,
I
no,
can
no.
cut it out. It's fine.
Disappear there.
Yeah. No, it's definitely not an issue. Don't you worry. For those of you who are listening, we're actually at a B&B right now in Oslo. But anyway, sorry. Continue.
Where was I? Yeah. So I.
You knew everyone at
Yeah.
the.
So like the producer, like this is the producer. He can do this and that. Like he can get you there if like blah blah blah. And I'm like, hey Carl. Like it was just so funny because like I had a beer with the guy like literally 2 weeks before that, right? So it was like in that sense, I felt really like welcomed there, which was really nice. And like all the people there, like so nice people. Like
Yeah.
the crew is awesome. I think like the only people that I felt like was like not there for you, but for like the money or the TV show.
Oh, the producers and stuff. Like
Yeah.
the TV producers,
Yeah,
I would guess.
the
Yeah.
TV producers.
Yeah.
That was like I'm not saying like they were not money grabbers, but like you definitely felt like they were there for the business and not for like just because music is fun.
So they were money grabbers.
Yeah, but then again, like I
No, I'm
don't
kidding.
want to say that out loud.
No,
if
no,
you
no.
understand what I mean?
Hey, fair game to them. I'm not calling them evil, and they're not forcing anyone to be a part of the show. So.
No. But like at the end of the day, it's still like it's still like a production where you have to make money. Like this
Yeah.
is their full-time job, so obviously like it's understandable why they think of the business more than like just having fun, which
Yeah.
is totally fair. So yeah, it was and what more can I say about it? Like I had a really great time. I came all the way to the finals. Didn't win, unfortunately. I got like a virus on my voice.
God
during the
damn.
final. Yeah, it
I
was.
did not expect that one.
Yeah, it was actually pretty insane because like I literally did not have a voice. I did not have anything the day before. Yeah, so I came on stage. I was doing this like really like rocky, like really like rock song, right? And like the high pitched note at the end, I was like full on belting it out, and I felt confident during like the rehearsals because I actually got that note. But when the camera went on,
It's always like that. Isn't it?
oh man, it was so embarrassing. And
Really?
yeah, it was. And I kind of hope that they take just that performance away, or take it off the internet. But then again, that happened. That's part of my story. So like, why not
Right.
just put it there? Like, just have it there, and people can see, and they can, yeah.
No. I completely understand. I think because I've done The Voice before.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest worry for me was like, I was just like, I don't need to win, but as long as I don't make a fool out of myself,
Yeah.
and I immortalize my failure to the world, to my kids and grandkids
Ooh,
and
yeah.
all the generations. But there was because when I did it, I did I Want You Back by the Jackson 5.
Yeah.
But I did like a very low-key chill version of it.
baby,
Yeah, but I tried to make my voice a little bit more husky, and like I was just playing with the guitar and whatever. And then the one time when I was going, oh baby, my voice went, oh baby.
Oh man. Oh. And the funniest thing about that is that you're the only one that actually thinks about that.
Yo, true.
That's insane. Like,
True.
you are your worst enemy when it comes to like being like judging. Like, you judge yourself the hardest.
Yep.
Yeah. Like,
Exactly that.
No one else will think about that at all.
But I think that is, I mean, that's what it is to be a creative sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about it. When you're editing a song or something, or you're, same thing happens for me with video editing as well.
Mm-hmm.
I could spend ages tweaking the most minute details.
Mm-hmm.
When, like, some of those details,
No one will notice it.
no one literally notices. I'm like, should I use this snare or this snare? And it's like the exact same snare.
Yeah. Maybe like it's a little bit like other pitch, like some other pitch or something like that, like something minuscule that like no one will recognize at
Yeah. So do you survive off being a musician here,
all.
or do you do other stuff on the side?
Right now, I do other stuff as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I work as a microphone technician at the National Theater.
Huh.
Yeah. So like, if you were like at a venue, like just like a concert venue, I would more or less be like backline,
Okay.
making sure that everything is plugged in, making sure that the microphones are working. Basically, so that the audio engineer that is actually behind the console don't have to like get away from his station in order to continue the show. So in some way you could say that like I'm the audio engineer's right hand,
Okay.
like the right hand man type of deal. And it's really fun. Like I get to meet like all of the actors, like the professional actors that is like working here in Norway.
Right.
I get to like the community is really, really fun. It's really, really nice. I have like the best coworkers in the world.
Awesome.
It's really, really nice. And also like it's also nice to have something to do.
Right.
Because I still do a lot of gigs like here and there and stuff like that, which is and like don't get me wrong, that's what I really want to do, right?
Right.
But it's also really nice to have something to do on your spare time that also pays the bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you, and I guess because I've heard people talk about when you're trying to make your dream a reality or whatever, like a certain type of work or whatever the case might be, they always talk about trying to create I guess a pathway where you are able to do work that is closely related to what you want to do anyway. So,
Yeah.
for example, you're a musician, and it just stands to reason that trying to say being a microphone engineer or whatever, it's still closely related.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I guess
100%.
so. Do you still feel hopeful? Like you don't feel like you're doing something that's like terrible. I mean, like far removed from what you're doing. Like
No, not at all. No.
right. You still feel like you're part of the
Yeah.
yeah.
I have this maybe like a naive rule
Okay.
that I have. And that rule is if you love your work,
Yeah.
then you're not working a day in your life. And I plan on not working a day in my life.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
So far, so good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty-
I love what I do. So it's yeah. It's
Yeah.
hard work, obviously. Like
yeah.
it's not like I'm just like I'm not like a lazy person. But then again, like I don't mind it at all. Like
Yeah.
I wake up and I go to work and I have fun and it's yeah.
And what is your work schedule like? Does it totally depend on like obviously it depends on events happening and stuff, but is there like is there a consistency to your work?
No, it's obviously like there's either it's like performances, right? Where like the shows, then obviously I have to work like evening shifts, right?
Right.
But you also have like the rehearsals and like the time before the shows goes on. So I actually have like the schedule that I have am having right now is actually every other week, day shifts and evening shifts.
Right.
Yeah. So last week it was like daytime, and
Right.
which is really chill. I can do like all of like the sending out invoices, like
Right.
all
Right.
the mail stuff. Like
I
basically,
hate sending out invoices.
oh yeah, it's the worst.
What is it about it where I'm like, yo, I'm actually getting paid. If I just send this bloody thing, I get paid for it. But I end up dragging my feet because of just like, I don't know, there's just something inside of me that's just like, why do I need, it should be the person who I do the work for that sends me all this shit, right?
Yeah.
Like they should be the ones who have to fill in like, okay, cool, here we go, this is the invoice, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and then pay me in that sense. I don't know, That annoys me. But anyway, so you've got a girlfriend in the United States
In the United States of
America.
America. Yeah.
How did that happen? How did you meet her?
Oh, that's also a really, really cool story. I don't celebrate Christmas, not for any religious reasons or anything like that. I just like feel like the coming from like a semi-broken family, not broken in that sense. Like I have like a good relationship with like my mother, my aunts, my sister, and all that.
Right.
But I don't celebrate Christmas. There's just something about like Christmas that I don't like. So in December 2022, I went to New York just to travel, just to like get away from Norway for a little bit. And I was visiting my friend, which I met in the Netherlands at a jam session there. So, and I knew that she was like, she moved to New York to like pursue music. So I was like, hey, like, I'm thinking about going to New York. Can I crash at your couch? And she was like, yeah, sure. No problem. Just come. Like, just like, we'll deal with everything else later. Just come. Just buy the tickets. We'll do it. I'm like, awesome. Sweet. Went there. There was this snowstorm coming
Okay.
on Christmas Eve, like the 24th. And it got so freaking cold. It was like minus 17 degrees Celsius or something like that. It was freaking cold.
Right.
So what we ended up doing was that we just, because we both were like, we can't sit here on our iPads on Christmas. Like it like, come on.
Sounds amazing. But sorry, continue. But I get you.
Yeah. So we were like, okay, fine. Let's go out, eat some Thai food, and then after that, let's just go to the closest bar we can find.
Right.
So we walked out, we bought some Thai food, and then we got back to the apartment, walked out literally the nearest bar from the front door, and she was working as a bartender.
What, you managed to get a bartender to be your girlfriend?
I got her number, and we went out on a date the next day, and it was amazing. We had such a great time, and less than a month after, I went back to New York.
Huh.
I don't know. Like, I felt like I just wanted to.
Are you one of them smooth ass criminals? Like, is that your vibe?
No. Like, that's the funniest shit ever, because like I actually don't have game, like, at all. So that's the funniest shit, because like,
sure, someone out there without a girlfriend sitting quietly in a corner hearing you say you don't have game, they're like, this brother is full of
fuck that guy. No, but literally, I was just like, so hey, how you doing? Like, I
did you do that as well?
Literally that thing. Like, I was like leaning on the counter and just like, hey, hi, how you doing? Like, I was literally so like, I literally made a fool of myself.
Right.
But then again, I also knew I'm leaving New York in 2 days. If this is not going to work, I will never see this girl again.
True.
So,
and New York is massive.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So like, even if I stayed in New York, I would most likely never see this girl again. So I was like, okay.
Right.
All in.
So then tell me, as someone who lives in probably one of the most prosperous countries on the planet right now, in terms of equality of opportunity, equality of just standard of living, well, at least the base is really...
Quality of living, yeah.
The quality of living is awesome here. What are some of the differences you notice, like going to New York and then like having come from here? Like, what is the difference?
One thing I definitely see, and was actually a really big culture shock for me, was that here in Norway and in Scandinavia in general, we have this like, I don't know what to say, like we have this sense of community.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We still good, don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have this sense of community, like the status quo is really big here. Like you have this law called janteloven.
Oh, the Danish have the same shit, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And
explain that a little bit. Yeah.
Well, in a sense, like I think it has been like misunderstood a little bit,
Okay.
but it's definitely not a pro-individualist law.
Oh, so is it like because in South Africa we have something called Ubuntu.
Ubuntu, yeah.
Yeah, it basically means the definition of it. I haven't thought about it for ages. It's basically saying that it's not just me as an individual; it's us.
Yeah.
It's just not me; it's us. It's the community.
Yeah.
Is it a similar thing?
It's kind of similar. It's more in the sense of like think of it this way, like if you're talented, they will praise you for it. But if you get too much talented, they will be like, okay, slow down a little bit. Kind of like that. Like this status quo is the closest thing
so
I
they
would
want to
say.
make everyone the same.
Yeah, it's a lot like it's a lot like that, and in some cases it's actually really good. Like,
Right.
Like for instance, like if you're looking at like for instance, like Norway is obviously like a social democratic country.
Yeah.
In a sense of like we have free healthcare, free school, like free education. We have like there's so much stuff that you have that safety net. If you lose your job, if you like lose your apartment, lose everything, in theory, the government will pick you up and put you back on your feet, right? And that can't happen if you have an individualist mindset. So in some cases, it's actually really good, but for instance, like with like creativity and like creative work and stuff like that, that's not perhaps the best thing because like I remember really well from where I come from. I remember so much like I always got like positive feedback when I was on stage. But when I, like, for instance, like, sorry, I can't hang out tonight because I'm writing a song or something like that, then, like, maybe not, like, the best example, but, like...
But I understand.
It was like, why are you doing that? Like, you're a loner, blah, 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 you're this and that, like, you're weird, like... Why are you doing this? And then when I'm on stage, they're like, whoa, oh my God, you're so amazing.
And you're like, bro, I needed to be alone to be able to get to that place while I'm on stage, yeah.
And it's like, it's like, I both embrace it and I also hate it at the same time. Like, because like, for instance, like, I love hats. Like, yeah, like fedoras and like wide brim fedoras and stuff like that. Like, if like, think of like California style, like that kind of like. Yeah. Now I'm wearing a beanie because it's freaking cold outside, but, but yeah. And here in Norway, I'm like low key embarrassed. Like if I walk out with like one of my hats, which has like a really wide brim, I'm a little bit like, I'm standing out. Oh, fuck. Like, what am I going to do? In America, I'm like, that's totally fine.
I feel like America is everyone is trying to stand out.
Yeah.
It feels like the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the good part about that is that you can actually embrace yourself the way you want to, and no one gives a shit. Whereas here, it's like you have like sort of like this uniform type of deal. I remember like not Bruce Springsteen, but like maybe it was Bruce Springsteen.
Right.
He came to Norway.
Devils and Dust. No, that's not Bruce Springsteen. No.
Born in the USA.
Oh yeah. Of course.
He came to Norway. If it was like I can't remember if it was like 2 years ago, playing like two like huge gig.
Okay.
Yeah, and he filmed outside of his hotel, and he said, "I only literally see 5 people." Because literally everyone was wearing the same outfit, or kind of like a uniform. Yeah. So he felt like he only saw 5 people, but it was in the city center, so obviously it wasn't just 5 people, right?
Yeah.
So we have like a strong sense of like we need to fit in. And from a social democratic viewpoint, that's a good thing, but from an individualist standpoint, it's not good at all.
But where does that thinking come from? Like that whole philosophy in itself, it seems, because I can understand. Like I've heard a lot about envy and how envy is a powerful thing that causes people to kill each other and that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And it's not
Cain and
just
Abel,
yeah,
like-
and it's just not it's not just humans. It's also like chimps or apes, like
Yeah.
where they do these things where if you give one chimp an apple, the rest will be so upset they would rip you apart because it's just that thing. And it seems like in certain cultures, they've actually built into it this idea of trying to mitigate that in certain aspects. Like, for example, this idea that when it's your birthday, you get a gift. And then when it's someone else's birthday, they get a gift.
Yeah.
So it's got this feeling, everyone's got this feeling like, hey, it's fair because
Yeah.
it's their turn. I'll get another one another time. And this sounds similar, like as if something that was built into it, this idea of like, we don't want to cause too much envy amongst our population. I don't know.
Well, the good thing about that though is that, like, for instance, like I was reading this book, like a cartoon book. I can't remember what its name. It's written by a Canadian that came to Norway and then like studied our culture and studied art.
Really?
Yeah, it's a really fun book. I'll if I remember it, I will definitely send it to you.
Right.
But he said that, like, and I totally agree with this, is that us Norwegians, we are helping the small guy or the small person like get up on their feet. So like, if the whole crowd is like, let's say everyone is here except for that person, we are really good at helping that person get up here. But the problem with that is that everyone that is here, but if there's one person that is up here, they're not like encouraging it. They're not like helping you achieve your goals. They're trying to like, no, go back here where with the rest of us.
Yeah.
So it's a positive and negative thing. I feel like I want that thing where like that thing, but I don't want that thing.
Right. Yeah.
It's
I feel like I completely understand. And now if you pivot to how they view things in America, because America seems to have the opposite issue.
oh yeah, 100%.
Where it's very hard to lift up the lowly people, or at least the social welfare and stuff.
Yeah. It's not existent.
Yeah. I think it depends what state you're in. I actually have no idea.
No, like you obviously have the blue and the red states, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm sure certain states do a better job at least creating some sort of nets for the people.
Yeah.
Probably not amazing, but
Better than nothing. Yeah.
So they have difficulty with that, but they genuinely idolize the people who have reached the echelons of prestige and wealth, or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
To the point where sometimes it makes me feel uncomfortable, where I'm like, okay, cool, it's cool that you like Taylor Swift, but god damn, bro, just bloody relax. And nothing against Taylor Swift. I don't listen to her music, but like, whatever.
You can't deny that she's a successful musician.
Oh yeah, of course.
Wildly successful musician.
But man, there are certain artists out there that I'm just like, man, amazing. But anyway, to the point where America seems to have the opposite issue.
Yeah, like in America, it's more like the big difference there is that, like, for instance, like with Norway, it's like I have made, well, it depends on like how much money you have, and obviously like now, because it doesn't matter. Well,
To do with power and stuff. But
yeah,
anyway, yeah.
but like here, we are really good at like donating to charities and stuff like that. I feel like I feel like every time that I talk to someone, they donate to the Red Cross. They donate to like the refugee. What do you call it? The Norwegian Refugee Council, something like that, right? But in America, the rich guys are like, I worked my ass off to get this money. Why would I want to like just throw it away on someone that does not want to work? And I'm like, no, they want to work, but they literally can't. Like they are working 3 jobs and they make less than I do as a musician. Like so like all of like the debate with like the minimum wage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's I think it's that's the negative part of individualism.
Yeah.
What I believe.
Yeah,
that is.
true.
Yeah.
But when you look at America in those sort of issues, it's intriguing for me because it's a complex web of different strings that probably need to be tweaked for the net to hold people a little better. Like, for example, universities
Yeah.
cost a lot.
It's like
Right?
I applied for a school right now to try to get over to New York to be closer to my girlfriend, obviously. And the tuition is literally $55,000. It's like, who has that amount of money, right?
55K?
$55K for 1 year. So if I'm doing like 2 years or 3 years, it's
Holy shit.
yes.
And do you know what makes it worse is the fact that a lot of these people are getting pretty useless degrees.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like you go and you study humanities and you use, let's say, over the course of 4 years or whatever, you've used 200K
Yeah.
or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
I mean, mathematically, that doesn't even make sense because what bloody job can you get in the humanities? And I think,
Like no offense,
yeah.
like you do get education, you get more knowledge, which is all like knowledge is power, like all the power to you, right? But then again, like it's not as easy to get a job as if like you were studying like economics or like lawyer.
No, but
or,
let's be clear. The knowledge that you'll get from like humanities degrees and all that sort of shit, you can get that off YouTube. Like, I mean, to be fair, I think you can get almost anything off YouTube.
Oh, yeah,
But I'm just saying, like, it seems to me that the humanities and all these sort of things, number one, I think they've become really politicized. Like in universities, like when you talk about humanities, I think depending on where you are in the country, you might learn some different things. But it's also like, and when you get the more right wing leaning people, they would be like, yeah, you have to work 3 shitty jobs because you fucking used 200 grand to study some useless degree.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm supposed to cough out cash, or we supposed to lift the price of minimum wage, which inflate the price of everything because your dumbass chose to do that. Like, I mean, if I was steel manning that position,
yeah,
that's what they might view it as.
yeah,
And
and it's like, to be fair with you, like it's a legitimate like viewpoint. Like I'm not gonna lie, it's like if you're actually like discussing that with someone,
yeah.
you would.
Cheers, man. Have a good one.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah. I'll hit you up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Yeah. It's
But it's a fair viewpoint. Like obviously, I don't think that way because I believe in a more like a society closer to the Scandinavian
model. Yeah.
Yeah. But also like trying to, because like one of my songs that I've written, I speak about exactly this. Like now, like the viewpoints of everyone is so polarized, right? So it's like they say that these people are the worst, and these people say that these people are the worst. Like, and with that mindset going into like a debate or something like that, with that mindset, you're not getting anywhere.
No,
right?
you're not. No.
So try, like, that's why I like to like every time I discuss with someone that I don't like agree with, I'm trying my best to see that person's point of view.
Really? I keep a gun in my pocket. Just in case.
No, but really, like, it's
No, I agree. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, in order for us to find like a middle ground, we need to actually listen to each other and understand the other side of the conversation or the topic that we're discussing. Because, like, even though I disagree with you, you have these viewpoints, this mindset, and in order for me to figure out what we can do so both of us are satisfied, I need to understand why you are dissatisfied with the current situation, right?
Right. It's so interesting. So I've been reading this book called The Righteous Mind by Jonathan Hadit. I forgot. Whatever.
Yeah.
But it's basically the premise of the entire book is like, how can two people who are both, say, have a good heart, have such different viewpoints on what is right and good? And how does someone get to that conclusion? And he breaks it down into, I'm only halfway through the book right now, but basically it's got different aspects to it. Number one, he says that morality is like a taste bud. Like, we all have taste buds, right? And we can all taste what sweet is and what sour is and whatever. But my sweet might be a mango, right? But yours is a chocolate.
Yeah. Or licorice.
Or
I love licorice.
You just had to go there and bring
I
in
had to, I'm sorry.
salted licorice into this conversation.
I'm Scandinavian. Like, what do you expect, right?
Oh gosh. But yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
But then people will disagree on the type of sweetness when in fact we all want a little bit of sweetness.
Yeah.
And then he breaks it down in terms of like conservatives and liberals. He talks about there's like 5 foundational principles that basically create the taste buds. I think it's care, like fairness and care. It's sanctity. It's I can't even remember. It's authority.
Yeah.
And a bunch of these other things. And for liberals, they score really high on like 2 sides of it, like on fairness and care. Like, those are the most important taste buds for liberals, like whatever. But for conservatives, you add things like authority, like, they're the ones who are more patriotic in terms of like, I'll die for my country.
Yeah.
Sanctity in terms of what we view as moral, like,
Yeah.
almost on a spiritual sense, right?
Yeah.
Like, and they give this terrible example, I'm gonna say to you, where the story is like, what would you say? What would you
Give me
say?
2 seconds.
Yeah, go for it. We just checking the sound.
Yep. Okay, it's still on.
Okay, that's on.
Yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's all. But anyway, they give this example where it's like, what would you say if someone bought a chicken, a dead chicken, like whatever,
Yeah.
and they had sex with it, and then afterwards cooked it and ate it, right?
Yes.
Now the question is, how far would you go to? Would you want to make that illegal? Would you say that it's free, they can do whatever they want or whatever? Like, what type of people do you think would be more chill with that? Like, the like, hey, it's a free world, do whatever you want, or the other people will be like, okay, it's not illegal, but
But it's gross.
yeah, but like,
Like,
I don't want this motherfucker living next to me, right? But that's an extreme example.
oh yeah, 100%. Like if you want my 2 cents on that, like I can definitely share it with you. Like
Yeah.
I like, for starters, like it's bestiality. Like there's like you can't like say anything about that, right? It's like it's bestiality.
Even if it's just the dead chicken?
Yeah, it is, like, because like, and you're still having sex with an animal. Yes, a dead animal, but still, like,
I can't believe we're having this conversation.
yeah, but
No, but isn't bestiality the thing that makes it illegal is the fact that you're having sex with something that's alive and you're causing it harm. If I'm talking about like a chicken that you buy from the store that you could roast,
yeah.
right? That's not illegal. You can do that.
Yeah, true. Like American Pie with the apple pie, right?
Yeah,
It's,
and I think those are. I know this is a crazy example, but we all have now. Now you now you kind of look at that, and I can tell you, if you were to vote on it for the most extreme liberals and the most conservative people, the liberals would probably score higher in the chill. They can do whatever they want as opposed to whatever. But bringing that extreme example to something a little bit more normal, I think that applies to a lot of things in life in general, especially in politics.
Yeah.
How? Yeah. Anyway.
This is my point of view in this. Yes, it's not illegal. It's a chicken that you buy and then you can like roast it. You can like basically cook with it and then you can eat it. It's still really gross, and like you do you, but I'm gonna do my shit over here. If that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't want to like stuff that I don't like. I don't want to make illegal just because I don't like it.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's true.
Yeah. You can do whatever you want. Like, again, like we are living in a Western society. Like, obviously, we have freedom of speech. We have freedom of, like, we can, to like some degree, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
And if you like having sex with chicken carcasses, like, okay, fine. I'm not going to come to your house for dinner, but fine. If that makes sense, right?
No, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
It's just so funny because when you read a book, there's a lot of context around a story that they give. Me just blurting it out like that, I'm just like, people listening to this are probably like, yo, that book sounds wild. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, I think that's why like in the States, when it comes to creating policies and trying to create fairness and all that sort of stuff, because then the question people ask is like, what is fairness? Like, do I have to pay for your decisions? Like when it comes to like, hey, you chose to study something that that you wouldn't be able to recuperate the money that you invested into it. But on the other hand, another way that you can look at it is perhaps we push people to know what they want to do with their lives too early.
Yeah.
Like 18, you're supposed to know exactly what you want to study.
Yeah.
And then you there's pressure on you to kind of have to jump into the workforce and whatever, and not to mention like the predatory freaking loaning habits of some of these loaning things in America and whatever.
Oh
like,
shit! Don't even get me started.
Yeah,
on that.
like I don't know. It feels like there is this social pressure. I think it's probably loosening now.
Yeah.
A lot more, but I think that plays a part in it. But it just shows me that when people look at politics, you can pull on one string and be like, this is the cause of everything. But once you pull on one string, you realize that, all these other strings are vibrating because it's like a complicated thing, right?
Yeah, but then again, like it's society in general. Like it's so freaking complicated. Like I don't think, like, obviously, like we have math and like we can calculate really, really big numbers.
Yeah.
But to a certain point, I don't believe that we as humans can even comprehend what, like, for instance, what a billion is.
Oh yeah, tell that thing about a billion.
Yeah.
Explain it to everyone.
Yeah, so like this is like, obviously, like, I might get arrested for this, like in the comments or something like that. But like, I am really fascinated by the difference between a million and a billion.
Right.
Yeah, because like it's just one letter, so
Yeah.
you're like, oh yeah, it's a lot of money. If you, let's say you have a job, and you a really good job, obviously, but after like everything is paid off, like food, shelter, like everything, and you're left with €1,000,000 for, like, let's just use euros as a currency, and you're left with €1,000,000 each year that you can do whatever you want with it. You have to save every last dime of that money from the Viking Age till today
God damn.
to be able to have $1 billion on your account, on your bank account.
That is crazy.
1,000,000 seconds is, I like, don't arrest me on this one, because like because I don't know exactly how much,
Right.
but 1,000,000 seconds is approximately 11 days.
Right.
1 billion seconds
Uh-huh.
is approximately 34 years.
Holy shit. That is crazy.
It's insane. That's what it is.
But I must say, the thing I do love about America
Yeah.
is that, I mean, we can argue about whether the American dream is real or not.
We can.
But at the very least, you know, you have this feeling, this vibe that you can be anything, and whether that's good or bad or whatever. And there's this weird thing where it's like you've got like half the country that worships billionaires, and another half that's like billionaires shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
And
True.
and it's like two extremes in America. Whereas here, how difficult is it to be a billionaire in this country?
In this country?
Yeah, in Norway. It must, or even a millionaire. Is that quite common here?
A millionaire is more and more common.
Okay.
Because like, but that's because of inflation and stuff like that. You like, I believe like the average income right now in Norway is around like 600,000 crowns, which is like, I don't know, like 60,000 euros, around somewhere around there. I don't have like the exact numbers.
Right.
Well, obviously, like if you earn that much, obviously you're getting taxed for that.
Taxes are rough, right?
Yeah, but then again, like that's the difference between a social democratic country and, like, for instance, like America.
Yeah.
Because like in America, the majority of the taxes goes to the military and to like you never see that money.
Yeah, especially in certain states like California.
Yeah. You don't.
The roads are still shit.
Yeah.
And like, well,
you don't see it at all. Like,
oh, I heard that from someone else. Don't take my word for it.
yeah. And but like for instance here, I get paid approximately like 55,000 euros a year.
Right.
There. And I pay 34% in taxes.
Ooh, so that's,
which is, to be fair, it's a lot. It's more than a third.
Yeah. So you take that off that 50.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like but then again, I'm happy to pay that because like if let's say after this and I walk home and then I get hit by a car, I get rushed to the hospital with an ambulance. I get
It's true.
Yeah.
The roads are awesome. The streets are fucking clean.
yeah, it's like everything is like
Yeah.
I'm really happy to pay my taxes because I know that I get it back.
Yeah.
But I totally
True.
also understand the other side of the story where like you have countries where you don't see the money, obviously.
True.
If
I'd be pissed as well if
truly, like I wouldn't want a government like just taking my money, which
Yeah.
is basically what's happening in America.
Yeah.
I had this epiphany with exactly that the other day with America because like obviously I've been there a lot this past year. And I was always this stupid Scandinavian coming there and was like, but why don't you have free healthcare? Kind of like, that stupid person. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I've been that person too.
Yeah.
It's not as simple, right?
No, but then again, like trying to think of it from like a right-wing perspective, a right-wing American perspective. Imagine the government being this friend or let's say acquaintance. You don't like the guy or you don't like the person at all. Yet that person is responsible to make sure that you are happy. But you don't like that person doesn't like you.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't trust that person to be in charge of if I get hit by a car. Like, let's do that example as well.
Yeah.
So I totally, from that point of view, I totally understand why they want to like not pay taxes and then pay for insurance instead. Because then they are in control of what they are spending their money on, right? But
And plus the government isn't well known for how well it uses its money.
no, like true,
Yeah.
like they are like trillions of dollars in debt,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But like again, like try to see the other person's perspective, right?
Yeah.
So when you have that mindset, trying to like figure out why do you think this way, I totally understand them.
Yeah.
Like I totally understand it because like I would not be comfortable with a person that does not like me and I don't like that person to be in charge of how I will get well after an accident or
No,
like,
you're
getting sick and stuff.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like because in Finland, in general, there's a sense of trust towards the government.
Yeah,
Like
here as
you-
well.
Yeah. I mean, people may bitch and moan about certain aspects of it, but the fact is, you see where the taxes go. Most of the time, your streets are clean. You're able to study for free and all that kind of shit and whatever. You at least know that, oh, okay, the government is beholden to us.
Yeah.
Because we pay this and, the motherfuckers will get voted out.
Yeah.
Like this if they're
Oh yeah,
messing with that.
We are having this huge thing in Norway right now.
Is it with power?
Yeah.
With,
Like-
sending electricity to the UK and shit?
Yeah, like no, like I don't know anything about that. Actually.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
your electricity bills are gonna skyrocket, but
Okay.
yeah.
But like there's a lot of politicians right now that has had to resign because they have broken the trust to the people. And instead of they just staying there and like basically being hated, they are resigning like straight away. Just
That's
like,
cool.
yeah, it's kind of it is kind of cool actually.
Yeah.
Like they embrace that they made a mistake and they are okay. I understand you don't trust me anymore. I'm going to leave. I actually really like it. It's
In America, they stay longer.
oh yeah, 100%. It's insane.
Oh, you don't like me? Well, get used to this face, bro. I'm gonna be here forever. Yeah, it's really interesting. So now tell me, the plan of moving to the States,
Yeah.
right? How are you feeling about that? We spoke about a lot of things that work well here.
Yeah.
Whatever. do you think it'll be more beneficial for you, like for your music career and shit, like being there, or do you have you thought this through properly?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
The thing about like the differences there is that like here, again with the I'm planning on not working a day in my life type
Yeah.
of deal. Here I can make a good living off of just doing music,
Right.
but I have to rely on gigs that is not that fun. It's more like
Those soul crushing shows.
yeah, like I did have like a gig like some months ago where I'm like, you come in and you just like feel the vibe that they just want to sit and talk to each other. They don't want, they don't want you
hate that,
there at all. Like they appreciate it, they don't show it to you, obviously. But yeah, so you get the feeling that you're interrupting something rather than being like the entertainment for the night. And so I'm just thinking, I do it for the money. Okay, I know I have to like stand up at the bar on the bar and be like, "How you doing? Hey, everybody was right, woo woo," kind of like that. And it's really really embarrassing to say the least. Yeah.
I don't mean to laugh. I'm laughing with you because I understand the pain. Yeah.
But then again, like that's like that gig, I sang like I don't know, like 5 songs tops, and I got paid like $600.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so in that sense, it's easier to work as a musician in Norway, but it's not the funniest gigs in the world or the most fun gigs in the world.
Right.
In America, on the other hand, and I'm planning on like doing that, like working as a musician, working as like a producer, and like the stuff that I'm doing here, more or less. The only difference is that like there, I have to work literally every single day, and I have to go from gig to gig, like basically working 24/7, which is going to be fun, but it's so much more hard work for the same amount of money.
Yeah.
But then again, you're having more fun. You feel like you're actually doing something.
Right.
Whereas here, it's more like you're doing the gig and then you go to the grocery store and buying milk.
Right.
On the way home. It's kind of like a gig, like just normal work.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, it completely does make sense. So basically, the plan is to go and chase the dream in America.
Well, at least I'm gonna try. Like,
Right.
I'm thinking that like, since I am a Norwegian citizen and I still have like the benefits of living in Norway, at least I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
And if worst comes to worst, I can just move back.
Right.
So in that sense, I feel pretty confident that like let's just try it out,
Yeah.
right? So yeah,
Because I do feel like, although we joked about America and whatever, I know that a lot of people love to hate on America.
yeah, definitely.
And that makes me roll my eyes a lot of the time when I'm like, of course, there's some valid criticisms.
Yeah, 100%.
And whatever.
But that's the thing. It's like I actually still believe that it is actually one of the greatest countries in the world.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because there's like there's a lot of criticism and stuff like that. You can actually like obviously like there's you can just like pick from the list, but again.
But what country doesn't have those criticisms?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and it's an amazing country, and like every time I'm there, I feel at home. I feel so welcomed,
Right.
and stuff like that. So like, yeah, it's an amazing country.
Yeah.
It's I usually say that it's I usually say that like America is both the best and the worst country at
Yep.
the same time.
It is. But
It's
like
so weird.
But like like the absolute best.
Yeah.
Like the peak of civilization.
Yeah.
And also the fucking pits.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I know we have to kind of cut this this short a
Yeah.
little bit, but I don't know. My trip here in Norway has been really interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like I've experienced some. I did the Norwegian dancing stuff, folk dancing.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
That was really cool. So your country has treated me really well. I really want to visit Oslo again.
Well, awesome.
But apart from that, like, do you have a place that people can listen to your music, or is there stuff you're working on?
I like, obviously I'm working on like music all the time,
Yeah.
but it's again with the like the status quo thing. Like
Right.
I like the peer pressure of like, oh, it has to be perfect.
Yeah.
Like I get to like 80% on
Right.
every song, and then I just like stop doing it because like
I
all of
get
those
you.
like we have this directly translated, it's the ugly on your back.
The ugly on your back.
Yeah, it's really directly translated. I understand completely that no one would understand it.
Oh, that's a good song name.
Yeah, but it's like
The ugly on your back.
yeah, like
Oh, the ugly on your back. Yeah.
the guy that is like always like in your ear, just like, you're not worth it. You can't do this. Like,
You're a bitch.
yeah. Do you believe that you can do this? Really? You should just stop right now. Like that guy
Yeah.
or that person. It's and unfortunately, it's yeah, and like unfortunately, I do have an Instagram account, but
Right.
like, but then again, like I haven't posted anything there for like all over a year.
Right.
I think it's just like there's something about like social media and like that false like reality perception.
I know,
thing.
and I know we
It's-
could probably dive into that
Oh
topic
yeah, but we have
for a lot. But Oscar, it was really fun to have you on the podcast. We
Thank you for
definitely
having
need a
me.
round 2.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll leave chicken out of the next.
Yeah.